J-Dog and L-Dog back out in the fucking season room to answer some more goddamn questions. And we kind of skipped way ahead of line on videos. This is like maybe 2 days ago now, 3 days ago now.
One day ago.
1 day ago. She wanted to go over these comments because it was a banger. What is it? It's got 1.1K views in 1 day, and it's got 216 fucking comments.
Yes.
And it was my final response to the poser, ball-sucking, non-true metal, such as Slipknot and all that. So that's the video we're going with. She wanted to go over that because she wanted to ask the questions instead of me just getting to it when I did. She's like, I want to ask questions on this one. It's got a lot of funny ones. I didn't even pre-read them at all. So she kind of just skimmed them. She's like, I think there's some good ones in here to ask that I want to ask. So without any further fucking ado, we're going to see what the fuck's in there. She's going to read them off, give you the shout-outs, the whole bits, and let's get digging, devils. Let's see what's in there. What do we got?
I love this first comment. Probably the newest.
Shout out to the Bra Bras.
Aegis Raven.
Never heard of them.
Okay. J-Dog speaks the truth. Just what I've been saying about old Cracknot since 98.
Cameron. Yeah, same here. So when I first heard of them, it was probably, not around 98, 99 is when I first heard them. Told the story, saw the kid in middle school with it. That's why I got a t-shirt, and I first didn't know what the fuck it was. But yeah, knew then, knew ever since. So yeah, J-Dog only speaks the goddamn truth. What else we got?
All right, here's a question for J Dizzle.
Shout out.
Sorry, Anal Eyes.
Oh yeah, he counts on everything.
So here's a question for J Dizzle and the Devils. Does a technicality, or as J-Dog says, professional playing matter to you?
No, not at all. I mean, because some of the greatest fucking stuff out there, metal-wise, it was amateur as fuck. I mean, listen to Possessed Seven Churches. You know what I mean? Like, especially the drumming, so that's classic as fuck, right? Sometimes that slop and stuff is what gives a character, and when the bands tighten up, so to say, actually, a lot of times when the bands become more professional musicians, they get worse. Because, you're pros now, they want to polish everything up, and it just loses that raw energy and the character, and I think that's a lot of the early bands, like Sepultura and shit, like, where they lost their sound because they were just immature, aggressive kids looking to play stuff that they were influenced by or what they just had in mind with their vision of metal, them growing up, listen to Venom, Bathory, Merciful Fate, and, Slayer, shit like that. They wanted to do their own take on it. And, sometimes that made the best shit. And then when they got more and more pro, they're on a scale of talentedness, they're more talented, but it's like, look, I wasn't looking to listen to fucking Jimi Hendrix, goddammit. I was looking to listen to good, creative, metal music that's has its own identity per band. Because now, granted, it's a little unfair if you go back to the 80s and early 90s. A lot of bands had more their own identity as compared to now because, let's face it, it was a new genre. So it was like whoever the fuck would have been first, it would have had its more identity. So it's kind of hard to recapture something brand new when it's been done a trillion fucking times. I mean, even myself, if I was to start a band, I can almost guarantee you it's influenced by X, Y, and Z because, I doubt I would come up with anything fucking new. I mean, there's every now and then somebody comes up with something else. Wow, this sounds fucking different. Right. But it's pretty rare.
That's hard for me.
Yeah.
What's like a band that bothers you when they're like, I don't want to play that anymore because I was a dumb kid when we wrote that?
Oh, and actually somebody said that. Who was a band? First band's popped in my mind, but it's not the primo example, would be Death. I'm sure Chuck Shaw thought, scream, bloody gore, that wasn't very good, Humans much better. I'm sure he falls in that category, but there's somebody actually said that.
Well, Glenn Benton kind of pulled that with.
No.
Yeah,
they still play tons of songs off. Like they play Dead by Dawn all the time. Sacrificial Suicide. No. He definitely.
What am I thinking of?
No, definitely not Deicide. No, he likes those. He just doesn't like the Legion album, which they're doing it. He said but I think he said he doesn't like the production.
Right.
Okay. But no, he likes the first album, Once Upon the Cross, all that stuff, and he definitely not him. But there is somebody that specifically said, like they literally said, we were kids when we wrote that. Why does anyone want to hear that? I think it might have been somebody we worked with.
Yeah, I think it's like
And I was appalled. I was just like, fucking. No.
I don't remember either.
But it's just why he never said this, and I'm not saying he thinks this at all. I'm actually curious to fucking meet him. I think, what's his face? The fucking front guy with Ron John plays something in Wagner Antichrist for fucking from Holocaust, from Beharets. I never heard him say that, but I get the vibe. Like if you're to meet him, like, and if I was to ask him about Oath of Black Blood, and like, he'd probably be like, man, we were kids. I don't really like that. I've never officially heard him say that, so I'm not saying that. That might be his most proud moment in the world. I get that vibe, especially how much they changed. And just from what I've heard through the grapevine, like he's some DJ guy that's not really even into metal too much anymore. Just little rumors I've heard. I don't know what's true or what's not, but I've always wanted to kind of meet him. He kind of just seems like a mysterious fucking early metal icon, I guess is the lack of better words. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he'd fall in that category. I forget the prime example, but somebody legitimately did say,
yeah, it was like
"Oh,
recent.
why, I don't know why anybody likes that
Everybody
early
likes that,
stuff. That's when we were kids." And it's like that was your fucking best shit, bro. What are you talking about? Um, it's on the tip. I can't even think who it is, but somebody literally said that, and I'm like, "You're out of your fucking mind, dude. That was your best shit." So,
all right, so this is human brisket.
count everything.
Yes, it's kind of more of a comment, but saw Mushroom Head or whatever they are called opening for they were boring, and once they finished playing, them and their fans left. Question, J Dog. Since you mentioned traveling overseas, would you ever plan to go to an obscene extreme fest if they book another one?
I wouldn't be against it. That or Hellfest or Wehrmacht, any of those fests overseas, I wouldn't be against it. It's not on the bucket list to do as of right now, but in my lifetime, yeah, I'd be totally into doing it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is didn't Chase just go to a fest?
Finland, I don't know what it was called, but Satanic Warmaster played, Destroyer 666 played, Nocturnal Mortem. I know they're on there. I don't know if Nocturnal Mortem is they're able to get in the country. Um, I think Mystifier was on the list. Like there was a ton of bands, but yeah, he went. I didn't ask him how it went or whatnot. I haven't seen him since a few days ago since recording this, but yeah, so I didn't ask him, but he did go to that.
Have you ever been to an overseas fest?
No, I never been to a show overseas. And every time I went to France and stuff, I'm trying to think, did I go to a show over there? No, I did not. No, I've been to a show overseas.
What's funny about Mushroom Head is, so we are from the Cleveland area. So when we were younger, Mushroom Head was like a huge thing.
Oh yeah,
A
100%.
huge thing.
Huge.
Everybody was like, "Oh, you don't listen to Mushroom Head. You're not cool or whatever." It was very odd. I've seen them one time.
I've seen them once as well.
They opened for
For the one I seen them, Incantation opened up for them once.
really?
Yeah, it was 2000 maybe,
Wow.
99, 2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I saw them in probably 99
That's about when I seen them. I think it was 99.
at the old Agora.
Also, when I seen them, I'm almost positive it was at the Flying Machine, if I'm not mistaken.
Flying machine. Like you had a park in the
Fucking
woods, man.
basically, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called Gravel Park, so that place was great.
I love this one. Gorehound. What makes me laugh is J Dog doesn't care. He hasn't and won't even listen to Slipknot album, and he's pissing off the super fans.
Technically, I've heard it. Reaper played it for me years ago. Reaper played it for me down at the shop. He put it off on the computer. I was like, just never had disc come through there. He played it. He's like, dude, I don't even think you realize how bad it was. I think it was right before we did a Hellcast episode or something. This is probably about 4 years ago, so not that long ago. That's when I first heard him. And I'm like, oh my God, this is even worse than I thought it was going to be. And he's like, yeah. He's like, dude, he's like, Paul, he's like, dude, they squeak records on some of their songs like DJs. What? He put I'm like, dude, I was just laughing my ass off. I was like, holy fucking shitski. So.
I remember thinking when I was like 14 that I thought it was really cool that they wore masks. And I've taken that into the bands that I actually like. You know what I mean? Like Gold.
Yeah, you got to remember, you got kind of a late start to the extreme stuff.
I did, yes.
Like myself. I just got lucky though. I mean, I got into it super, super fucking young. So my mind was even with I think like Athnar Jamie, like he's like a lot of some of the heavy metal bands that I don't appreciate and stuff like that. I was like, dude, because I think my brain got so polluted with death metal so early. I was like, that's all I wanted to hear, and everything from there on out, unless it was extreme black metal or death metal or grindcore, my brain was kind of polluted. I'm like, everything else was just kind of a downgrade. So when you went to the really commercial stuff like the Pantera stuff, I'm like, what the fuck do I want to listen to this for? I got Cannibal Corpse, I got Suffocation, I got Morbid Angels, Ultra Madness, I got Deicide.
Right.
Like, what the fuck do I need this for? I just picked up Immolation Here and After. I was like, this is the real shit. So I mean, I was super, super, super fucking young, And part of that, yeah, was like I said, my second oldest brother left the Sacred Right case behind, heard Ignorance and Surf Nicaragua, and then kind of wanted to hear
How
heavier
old
shit.
were you there? Like
That I was like
11?
11,
Yeah.
10 or 11, and then
So
by
at
the time
11, I was listening to like Def Leppard.
yeah, and
I
then when
mean,
I
because my older siblings were 10 years older than me.
well, that's part of the reason why I had
That's what I got. I got like the hair metal bands. I would say Motley Crue, Def Leppard, which I still
because
listen
that's
to.
what they grew up on in
Right.
the 80s,
Right.
and then it's they're listening and you heard.
Pat Benatar, all that stuff.
So if you got to
I
represent
listened
Eric
to.
and shit, when he was picking Eric and Chase, they're already older than me. So when
Right.
I was 11 or so, Eric was like 14, 15. He was already had money buying CDs. That's why he picked up Cannibal Corpse vinyl and brought it home. He was the one that bought it. Chase heard it first, and then Chase called me and was like, "Dude, you got to hear this." He's like, "It's the heaviest thing ever." He's like, "You can't even understand what he's saying." And that's when at that time I was 11. It was shortly after, because once after we got Sacred Reich and stuff, that's Eric was the first one. He was going out and buying other CDs. He was looking at like BMG catalog. Who was the other one at the time? Columbia House, and he was just looking at covers and stuff. And then he'd be like, okay, well, let me go to the store and see what they have. Then I remember like Gorefest was in there, Mind Lost, Suffocation was in there.
Did you guys go to Coconuts?
Yeah, we did afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Eric bought at Coconuts. I'm almost positive that's where he bought Eating Back to Life. And then for a while,
With
I think
the cover on it.
yeah,
and
no, that one wasn't covered up. The one that was covered up was Tomb of the Mutilated. I think Butcher of Earth, but I don't think they covered up Eating Back to Life. And that was, I think, I'm almost positive that was the second Cannibal Corpse I heard. And for a long time, that was like, this is probably my favorite one. But that's how I got because the brothers being a little slightly older, so I was able to get into like the real heavy shit very, very, very early on, premature. And like now, it's easier now because some 10-year-olds can go on YouTube and even stumble across it even accidentally, right? Like he's not even looking for it. He could just type in like heavy music or something, and maybe fucking sentence or something will come up. You know what I mean? He just got lucky. But as for us, we had to like seek and destroy, right? So yeah, so for at that time it was part of it was just me getting lucky. That's why I do give some of the other guys a little bit of a break. That you got to start with gateway bands like whether it been Cold Chamber, Pantera, stuff like that. But I was like, but when they're walking around 5 years later, the heaviest band in the world's Pantera. Like, what the fuck, dude? You should know better about how. Like, what do you just stop there? You didn't go check anything? Right. Like, because especially when you're looking around, because like I said, like Eric was seeing and stuff like that. When you saw like, why do you think he picked up Cannibal Corpse vinyl? He just saw this fucking what the fuck? This has got to be good just by the cover. Shit, this can't. This is How this has got to be a fucking some heavy shit. This just looked like it.
Has to be a banger.
Yeah, it has to be a banger, and it was. So that's how we did. So it's like, it wasn't like we had some fucking obscure access to anything, but you got to do it. Yeah, back then you got to do a little bit of work.
Definitely didn't. You were in like the boonies of Medina.
No,
so that had to be even harder.
Yeah, the nearest store was a fucking 10-minute drive. Forget riding a bike. If you rode a bike, it would have taken you an hour and a half, 2 hours. So you had to ride on our parents and shit to take us. So yeah. So yeah, we didn't have it easy. So, but yeah, back you got to work for it. God damn it.
So. Definitely, I get like you have to get into it somewhere. And like for me, again, my siblings are 10 years older, not 2 years, so they were listening to those 80s bands. Poison.
Well, it's kind of hard to no, but same thing because Sean and Andy, they're about Andy. I think he's 10 years older than me.
I didn't get a tape that you got. Yeah, I got Def Leppard and Motley Crue.
Sean's 8 years older. Sean's 8 years older than me. Yeah, Sean's 8 years older than me, and I think Andy's 10 years old. And Andy was listening to some metal too. So in the background, when I probably wasn't paying attention, they already definitely were listening to like Ozzy and Priest and Maiden. So even that stuff I was somewhat exposed to very, very young.
Yeah, I listened to that too.
Like Sabbath shit, like I remember in the car. Yeah, so.
But he likes Nickelback, so.
It says. Yeah,
all right, you ready?
Uh-huh.
This is a comment which I love. M85. If I took a shot every time J-Dog mentioned Slipknot, I'd choke on vomit dead.
They just keep getting brought up. Got to just answer what's in there. I'm just answering what's given. God damn it! So, because I thought of myself, I'm like, as I'm bringing these bands up, I'm sure somebody's thinking, man, why does he keep talking about these people? Keep asking about them. So I'm just answering what the fuck's in there. Don't like the fucking topics? Ask different topics. God damn it!
All right, ready?
Actually, while I'm at it, so I can start throwing other bands in there. Throw in there because I'm completely clueless on our loop. Who is the equivalent of what kids would like today that they think is much heavier than Pantera? The Panteras, the Slipknots, the Mushroomheads, the Limp Bizkits. Who's the 2020, 21, 22, 2018, 2019, etc.? What teenagers now listen to? What's the equivalent of that? Because I remember during the Hellcast days, somebody said to Reaper was like, you guys bring up Slipknot and something, you realize that like nobody even talks about that anymore. That's like old news. And I'm like, I figured that. I was like, but
Yeah.
that's all I know.
Yeah.
Because after I got out of high school, I wasn't, what the fuck? I wasn't paying attention. I didn't know. I only knew because they came up to me. After that, and big boy days, when you get fucking grown up and you got your big boy pants on, you're going to work, nobody came up and asked me about this shit. So I don't know. I just go on by when I was, 14, 15, 16, 17, even up to 18. Once I was done, graduated, it stopped there. I had no fucking clue.
Right.
So, and then him, HIM, I heard about that because I told you our sister's ex-boyfriend, she was a teenager. He asked, that's some piece of shit. And
No,
he asked
him,
HIM. And he asked Craig, he's like, do you like him? Craig's like, who? Him? He's like, why is it called him? Stands for his infernal majesty.
Oh,
He's like,
God.
there's only one infernal majesty, and it's just fucking him.
That's like the incubus conversation.
Yeah, so, and then, because Craig told me that story, and I laughed my ass off. I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't even need to hear it to know, number one, by the name,
Bad.
what he said, and what this douchebag that listened to him looks like. I was like, I don't need to hear it to know I don't like it.
Well, we have a 13-year-old, and he listens, it's like YouTube music is what it's called. And I will say the one thing he listens to so he listens to our music in the car, that kind of stuff. He's not like rocking it, but he was like,
he stomachs it.
But he asked me, he was like, do you guys sell Machine Gun Kelly? And I was like, who the fuck is that?
I heard that. Isn't he a rapper?
No, I don't know. He said like he does metal music, and I was so confused by the conversation.
The only reason I know who that is because John, cable guy,
when
he invited us to his Rover Fest.
Yes, and I remember now.
I was offended. He's like, what do you mean, dude? There's heavy shit playing. Machine Gun Kelly's playing. I'm like, what the fuck is Machine Gun Kelly? And I was like, there's no possible way, no chance on this earth, any bands J-Dog listens is playing goddamn Rover Fest. I will bet fucking all the money I have plus some that there's not. And I was like,
they had some old rap guys on, I think, Rover.
That's why I wasn't there. But anyways, the point being is that's how I heard of it. And I'm just like, it ain't a Ballmer, rah rah.
All right, ready? Freaking Slayer. It's like people saying bodybuilding and powerlifting are in the same because they both lift weights and eat protein.
Pretty much.
Both are in the category of fitness, but not the same. Like Slapnuts and Infestor both are the category of music, but not the same genre.
100%. There you go. That's perfect. But I mean, but even like a lot of the Devil's Watching, because they even ask, they mention the guys in Blasphemy and stuff. Well, the guys in Blasphemy are not bodybuilders. Never were bodybuilders. Don't look like bodybuilders. Not partially bodybuilders. They're into powerlifting. And I'm not saying that's because they're better or worse. It's just what it is. It's a completely different sport. You're just using some of the same tools to get to different goals. So, but anyone like if you go up to a bodybuilder and ask them like how much you bench and shit, they look at you like you're an idiot. Like I don't know how much I bench. I don't care how much I bench.
Well, I don't. We're a power lifter.
I use the bar and the weights to try to overload my muscles as much as possible. Yes, I'll add more weight to the bar to try to progress for hypertrophy, but the goal isn't how much can I fucking go on a bench for one rep. He's like, I could care less. I never even try that. I've never tried a one rep max in my life. People ask me all the time, what do you bench? I was like, quite frankly, flat barbell bench. I haven't done that shit in like 5-6 years.
It's a great question when my grandma asks him.
Yeah. I was like, I couldn't fucking tell you.
Right. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is from Driller Killer. I like this. J-Dog, are there any albums that you like or have involvement in from musicians you dislike? One for me would be Holocausto by Necrophagia with Phil and Sama. Not a Pantera fan at all or anything else, but not a fan of what Phil has done, but I really like that record.
So he's asking guys I don't like, but they're on something I do?
Yes. Or like, well, no, you don't want to answer that. Like people you don't like that you guys put out?
Okay. Oh, no, I'm not going to answer that personally. I'm not going to answer that. But no, I mean, is there members? And I see he says Phil, like he's basically saying I don't like Pantera, but he played on a Necrophagia record. I like the Necrophagia. Okay. There probably is, but probably not something appalling where it's like a guy from Slipknot playing on something. Probably nothing to that degree, but definitely like this guy was in a black metal band. Like maybe something I don't care about, like Knock Mystium or something like that. Not Blake Judd either, but maybe something that caliber. I'm like, I didn't really care about Knock Mystium, but maybe one of the members played on something I did like. There's definitely those, because especially some of those bands that cross over to like I mean, fucking Abruptum. I tell you how much I thought that's
I
dog
was
shit.
gonna say,
Is it one of the guys from Marduk? Which
yeah,
guy is it? B War or
I
is it
think so.
Morgan or? Don't come. I think that 'cause for years I didn't even know. I'm like, oh, fucking so and so from Marduk was this? News to me. Didn't know that. Um, there's scenarios like that, but I don't think anything that's like, hey, dude, Marilyn Manson, man, he did some backing vocals on this Cannibal album, and it was killer. Nothing like that that I can think of. Not that I'm aware of, anyways. Um, so
Kind of funny. I'm just gonna say it because of the video, but this is Cenotaph. I appreciate that the topic generates a lot of discussion, but if we could just move away from the Slipknot discussion, that would be great.
hey, actually, well, what did I tell you? The thing says my final response.
This is it. No more Slipknot.
Well, people keep asking. I don't know.
Next question. Ready?
Last one. We're at 21 goddamn minutes.
Nick, I like this question. Yo, J Dog, what is your favorite female metal singer? For me, it would be Dawn Crosby from Tentante and Fear God. So, what's your favorite?
I really like it, even though I don't know who it is because they never officially have the chick from the original Sin.
All right. Yeah, they never say really.
Yeah, because this is like one of the guy's sisters or something.
Yeah,
That's what I heard. He just asked, "Hey, can you do vocals?"
It's like such an odd thing.
That's the story I heard. I don't even know if that's true. Because from what I understand, the official story is not out there. They kind of made it up to be mysterious. That's probably my favorite female-fronted thing. But when I was really young and when Sinister switched over, did the Creative Killings album, Rachel singing, I thought it was cool because I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this sounds like
I didn't even know it was a girl. I didn't even know it was
when that came out. I remember asking John McEntee. I was like, "Did you hear the new Sinister, John?" Yeah. I was really he's like, "Yeah, dude, she's brutal than most dudes." I was like, "Yeah, no, I liked it." So I remember that was cool. But on a personal level, I mean, the only one that I kind of know females is Stacy from Savage Master.
So
and she's cool.
She's also one of my favorites, but I have to just say real quick, one of my favorites for sure is Sacred Few. You
Rest
know,
in peace, Sandy.
She just passed. She's amazing.
Yeah, we hung out with her all the time.
Especially
you guys get drinks and shit, like at the bar, at the shows.
She was a woman in front of her time. It was amazing. I know lots of guys kind of, don't like female-fronted things, but
most guys do actually.
She was amazing. She was kind. She was sweet. She was hardcore as fuck. She loved her Jameson, and
she probably drank a little too much. She definitely.
But she was amazing. Another one, Lady Beast. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Deb is amazing. She is fucking brutal. I love her. But definitely Sandy. Rest in peace, Sandy.
Yeah, that's it for this one, Devils. Approaching the 23-minute mark. God damn it. Questions, comments, concerns, you know what the fuck to do. Leave them in the goddamn questions. You don't like the Slipknot fucking talk, then don't ask that goddamn question. Ask something fucking different that we can talk about. Because what you ask is what I answer. See you tomorrow, goddamn it.